This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Let me show you how easy it is for the government to work its people into hysteria. It is so easy to manipulate the people on the left and the right. And it's amazing that they don't see how strategic and how deliberate the government is when doing things like this. Obviously, right now, the divide in America has probably never been greater. And one of the big things that they've been doing to work people into hysterics is all of the stuff with the ICE raids, the deportations, how ICE agencies are supposedly under attack by Antifa and liberals. This is all staged by your government. So it makes perfect sense that on the biggest stage of them all, the Super Bowl, the highest rated show in America every single year, even if people aren't tuning in to watch the game, they're still tuning in to watch the halftime show. So why not pick Bad Bunny to be the performer at the halftime show? Now, you might say, I've never heard of Bad Bunny. Well, many people have not. But you're going to hear of him now because the government strategically, through the NFL, placed Bad Bunny as the halftime show so that they could rile up the MAGA audience into hysterics. Because Bad Bunny, if you didn't know, does not have one song that is actually in English. So he'll be performing at halftime, speaking Spanish the entire time, rapping in Spanish or whatever his music, you want to describe his music as, if you want to call any of these Hollywood, celebrity music industry types actually performing music. They're not performing anything other than dumbing down the audience that listens to them with lyrics that will put you literally, give you a lobotomy listening to some of the lyrics of these songs. But they've chosen Bad Bunny to do the halftime show, right? So MAGA's going crazy. The NFL picks Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl. It's an insult to God. It's an insult to America. And Donald Trump has come out and said that they're going to have ICE agents at the actual Super Bowl. This just shows you what theatrics all of this is. This is deliberately done. Obviously, the NFL knows what they're doing. They know the temperature in America. They could just pick some safe performer to put on some spell casting, halftime shows, since every halftime show is a massive ritual. But no, they picked Bad Bunny. Why not, right? Nobody in the room said, hey, it's probably not a good idea with all the stuff going on with ICE, with all the stuff going on with MAGA, with all the stuff going on with the left and the right and the Charlie Kirk thing that we just saw. It's probably not a good idea to put somebody on stage during the biggest halftime show, probably ever as far as the ratings, to put a guy out there who doesn't speak English. But this is what they do. And people think that these are naturally occurring things, like the government isn't doing this strategically to continue the divide and conquer agenda, to bring politics now into the actual Super Bowl. Now we're going to have a whole Super Bowl debate for months and months leading up to it. Is ICE going to be there? Is Trump going to attend? Are we going to arrest Bad Bunny in the middle of the halftime show? Because Bad Bunny is somebody who is outspoken against the government. Of course, he's not considered a government threat, like how the government has just recently released this new counterterrorism documentation after the Charlie Kirk assassination attempt, or whatever you want to call that event, that spectacle, where they're now defining what a terrorist is again in America, right? Well, Bad Bunny's not going to get arrested on stage, even though Bad Bunny is speaking out against the government. They're saying any type of anti-government rhetoric will not be allowed, and you'll be put on a terrorist watch list, because this is all contrived. This is Bad Bunny obviously doing what he's asked to do, because he's a stooge, he's a puppet, as all these musicians are for the government. They're all CIA operatives, as I'll show you right now. And the NFL is doing their role. For anyone out there that doesn't know, of course, the NFL, another government invention for the most part, at least connection to secret societies, Walter Camp, who invented American football. He's what? Well, Walter Camp is a proud member of Yale Secret Society's Skull and Bones. And of course, look, I'm sure a lot of you like sports. I grew up liking sports and playing sports. But you realize the purpose of sports once you wake up from the Matrix and you realize that this is just bread and circus. This is just another way for people to put their energy into something pointless. Because at the end of the day, when you root for a team or not, it has no effect on your actual life. And while the government does all these things to strip us of our rights, people, instead of caring about trying to push back on digital IDs and trying to push back on free speech laws and hate speech laws that the government's trying to implement, instead of caring about those things, they put their energy into sports and rooting for their team every single Sunday. So, of course, the NFL has direct ties to Skull and Bones, just as baseball has ties to Freemasonry. But let's take a look at Bad Bunny, because this guy's playing a role. This guy has been given this massive pedestal in America where he is now this massive musician, where you would say, how is this guy popular in America where he doesn't even speak English in his songs, right? We're gone from the spellcasting in music where you listen to it and you listen to some of these rap songs, they're just talking about drugs and they're talking about ridiculous things and money, to the point where they actually have people who aren't even speaking English and nobody even understands what they're saying, but they're listening to it. They're listening to it, right? So that's really just the newest form of spellcasting. But Bad Bunny here, you can see him doing the all-seeing eye symbols because he's in the club. He's playing this role. He's not American. He's speaking out against Trump. He's speaking out against ICE. He's being an antagonist against MAGA. And they deliberately select him to do the halftime show just for this purpose, so that you can't even have 5 seconds away from this political divide that the government's created. They make you absolutely smothered by it because they won't let you escape it. The only way to escape it is when you realize that the left and right is fully controlled. So here's Bad Bunny, putting a hand over his eye, right? I'm sure that's just a coincidence. So is this on a magazine cover, holding a fan up. Some of the things you see with this guy, I'll show you now. There's some of those ridiculous symbolism that I've seen. We've covered it all. We've covered all the celebrities. The first time I've covered Bad Bunny. But look at this, putting a fan up over his eye. What do you think? They were taking a photograph there? And he's like, I'm hot. He's like, I'm going to cool myself. How about I just stick it on my eye and you put it on a magazine cover? Because that's what everybody wants, right? It's absolutely laughable. Here he is doing the all-seeing eye on another magazine cover. Even, of course, this is what they play into with the left and right. He's got fingernails. He's got his nails done like a woman, right? Because these characters have to do that. They have to dress as women. They have to have their nails done like women. They wear makeup, right? So you automatically label, that's a Democrat. They're wearing up nail polish on. They're dressing like girls. This is all part of the game, right? This guy's just playing his role, as all of them do, right? Here's all the celebrities again doing the all-seeing eye symbolism over and over and over, because they're all part of the same club. Nobody is suspicious as to why they're always putting a hand up over their eye during major photograph shoots. They're going into GQ magazine, right? And it's like, hey, we're gonna do a whole spread on you, and right on the magazine cover, we want you to pick your eye booger and put your hand up over your eye. This is how they operate, through signs and symbols. We've seen every single celebrity do it. In fact, this guy's so over the top. This is what we get from Bad Bunny. Here's Bad Bunny even putting an all-seeing eye on his forehead, right? And of course, somehow, some of the sheeple will make excuses, say, well, his chakra, his third eye, right? I mean, this is how blatant these people are with their obsession with eye symbolism, with the 666 hand sign, as I'll show you as we move on, the Freemason symbols, all of it. They do it every day all around us, and they get away with it. And people think that these are actual people, that they're not characters who are playing their role in this game. And of course, Bad Bunny's been selected to play his role at the Super Bowl to cause more division. They'll probably put a spectacle on at the halftime show, as they always do. But instead of a satanic ritual this time, we'll probably see an ice raid or something along those lines. That's how unbelievable this charade is. People believe everything they see on television. You know, it's incredible how they're staging this out, this civil unrest, this left versus right. People don't say, you know what? Are they working us? Are they doing this deliberately? You think? You think so? None of this is naturally occurring. They're the ones who are producing it. They're the ones manufacturing it. Everybody's falling for it. Like, these are real natural occurring events. Someone's questioning, why is the NFL doing that? Doesn't the NFL just want people to focus on the game? Why would they pick a guy who is speaking out over and over against Trump and against ICE? And now we have all the ICE raids going on. So let's throw him out at halftime since he doesn't speak a word of English in any of his songs. That's not working people in hysterics, right? The people who are sucked into the matrix. So there's the eye again on his forehead, even as in one of his albums, his cover is an eyeball. You know, again, I don't know if all these celebrities have failed optometry school. Maybe the goal was to be eye doctors. They'd never passed. So instead they became millionaires by making music, talking about gibberish and nonsense, but they still wish and hope one day that they could return to optometry school because they're obsessed with eyes, right? And you see Katy Perry, right? I mean, how many of these people, I could show you every single one of them, right? Katy Perry, the eyeball in the mouth. Katy Perry, a conscious, wearing an eyeball on her shirt. Nobody's suspicious yet, right? We have people like Miley Cyrus, with an eyeball tattoo on its finger, right? Because that's what you're thinking. You're like going to get a tattoo, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll get, my wife's name or something. I don't know, something lame, whatever it might be. And you're like, you know what? I love the look of an eye. I'm gonna get an eye on me, right? We got other celebrities, Kesha, of course, these sex kittens, beta programming of MK Ultra, even Justin Bieber, who's got a big old eyeball but plays the role of Christian on his arm, and nobody's suspicious about it. Even recently, of course, the other thing they all have in common, one is loving eyeballs. The other, of course, is loving pizza and doing weird things like, pretending to bite your child's face and then put a piece of pizza there, knowing, of course, what pizza represents and everything that happened at that pizza parlor. Comment a couple of years ago and how you're not allowed to talk about pizza, but that's a reference, of course, to pizza, and he's got the tattoo of the eye as well. So maybe they're just fans of the dollar bill. Is that what it comes down to? Or does it come down to maybe what actually represents of the dollar bill, the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, right? And what does it say right underneath it? Oh, it says Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means a new order of the ages, because these people are all helping bring in a new world order. These are actors, they're characters, they're responsible for a lot of the behavioral control that's going on. When we hear them talking about behavioral control, you see the effects of how these celebrities behave in front of a camera, how they dress, the stupid stuff they talk about, how they dumb down their audience, and you see these kids, how they act. That's how they manipulate behavioral control. But these people all think, because they're under mind control, that they're independently doing it. They're making these decisions on their own. They're dressing this way because they thought of it and they wanted to do it. They're being manipulated into these things. They're being, obviously, without even realizing it, they're put under hypnosis, that they follow these people, then they copy what they do, and they talk how they talk, and they act how they act. So what else have we seen with this clown Bad Bunny? Oh, he's doing, this over his forehead. That's, of course, the 666 hand sign. Nobody suspicious, even looks like he's under demonic possession in the photo. That is the 666 hand sign, right? We see MAGA still do it, right? And they pretend like it's not the 666 hand sign. All the celebrities hold it up over their eyes, right? Even Obama's done it, right? They're all playing peekaboo with one another. John Cena does it, right? We're supposed, it means hustle, loyalty, respect, right? This is obviously a reference to 666. That is what the symbol actually means. So then we got Bad Bunny doing what? Shh. There's another one of their signs that they do, the vow of silence that they all take. It's an oath that they take in secret societies, where, of course, they're not going to reveal the secrets of these secret societies. And the secret that they find out is that Lucifer is God, and that's who they worship. They just don't want you to know that they worship Lucifer. That's why when you hear celebrities thanking God, they're thanking their God, Lucifer. And they haven't come out publicly and said, well, I just want to thank Lucifer, although we've heard Lady Gaga say it before on The Tonight Show. Sooner than later, they're going to start coming out instead of saying, I want to thank God for this award, or thank God for the success in my life, the blessings. They're going to start saying that they want to thank Lucifer. And we've seen all the celebrities do it. They always hold up a finger over their mouths, just like the all-seeing eye. And the people are just like, they see the stuff, they don't even think. They're just on autopilot. No one's suspicious. When they see the collages, sometimes they start to go, oh, it's weird. Why are they all holding up a finger over their mouth? Did they just break wind? They don't want to tell the photographer? What's the big secret going on? Well, the big secret is that they're all in the club and you're not. And they have to keep these oaths that they take. They're loyal to their brotherhood, their fraternal orders, not to you. Okay? So that's why you see, you can even see on some of these Freemason websites, they're not hiding it. Silence. Keeping your mouth shut, right? But they go into detail at some of these lodges about how important it is. These aren't like, hey, behind a paywall. These Masonic Lodge websites, they openly talk about, oh, don't forget about the vow of secrecy. You know what else is a vow of secrecy? Witches do. Witches take a vow of secrecy, right? Some of you might remember I was exposing, Satanists and witches back in 2016. And some of these covens got very upset when I was exposing because my channel was very big at the time. And I was mocking them and I was pointing out what they actually do and telling everybody what witches actually do. And they were getting all fired up. And then they all got together on a live stream and they were talking about how, hey, we can't talk about the things that we actually do. Remember, we took a vow of silence, secrecy. It's like, how brain dead are you? You're doing this on the internet. We can all see it. But, they don't have much going on in their heads. I mean, they're witches and Satanists. And, if they actually had brains, they'd realize that they lose in the end and Jesus Christ is victorious. But nonetheless, witches and Satanists take a vow and an oath of silence just like Freemasons do. Then we get Bad Bunny. Of course, he loves goats, right? They're all opening goat farms. Haven't you heard? They all love goats. They like goat milk, right? They're always just taking pictures with the goat, right? They've made the term goat famous now. Greatest of all time, they tell you it means, so they can get away with saying this stuff out in the open and doing stuff like this, right? They're referencing, of course, the Baphomet, the goat with breasts and a penis, who happens to be what? A goat who has boobs and a penis. So what do you think in regards to one world order, one gender, the things that they're trying to push right in front of our faces, right? We've seen celebrities like Britney Spears. They all will deliberately take pictures with goats, and they don't expect you to notice any of it, just like with the silence with the finger over the mouth. Oh, look, it's Ryan Reynolds holding up a goat. And, oh, isn't that cute, right? They deliberately make sure they get these photos so they can do it right in front of you. This is part of spellcasting. The Kardashians doing it all the time, right? In fact, they've even normalized goat yoga right in front of everyone's faces. And nobody out there goes, what is the point of doing yoga and putting a goat on your back? I mean, what's that? You put an alligator on your back? Huh? Nobody goes, what is its purpose does it serve? Why don't you put a dumbbell or some type of weighted thing on your back if you're trying to, do some type of, yoga stretch? Because it's about the goat. And of course, the connection with yoga and Aleister Crowley and how it's been normalized in our society. So this to me might be the funniest one of all of the ridiculous things that we've seen Bad Bunny do so far. How unbelievable is this? Here's Bad Bunny wearing the checkerboard Masonic outfit on top of a Masonic floor, right? I mean, if this isn't a puppet, if this doesn't scream, I'm a puppet, I don't know what does, right? He's wearing almost like a shower curtain wrapped around him. Right? For those of you that don't know, the black and white checkerboard pattern known as the mosaic pavement in Freemasonry, as above, so below, your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds. This is the duality that they believe in every Masonic lodge, has these black and white checkerboard floors inside of their lodges. And of course, these are people who, as they go through the degrees in Freemasonry, as they take these oaths and they're blackmailed to secrecy with one another, they are told that Lucifer is God, and that is who they worship, and that's, of course, who Bad Bunny worships. So what else, before we wrap it up, have we seen Bad Bunny do? Of course, he dresses like a girl's clothing, right? These are the people normalizing this stuff, normalizing trans. It's all deliberately done. And now that we've seen how the government is starting to really manipulate Christians with obviously what is good versus evil, but they're taking these biblical references and they're associating it with the Democratic Party and the Conservative Party. So these people are viewing people that vote Democrat as evil and horrible and wicked people, right? And these people are just deceived. These are the people responsible right here. People like Bad Bunny, your government, the CIA, Hollywood, they're responsible for all of it because they're the ones who are working you and manipulating you every single day. So this is why, people are confused and they don't know how to dress, and Bad Bunny's wearing dresses. You think he's doing this when the camera's not on? Well, probably, but still, this is deliberate as it comes, right? All these guys who happen to be Democrat in Hollywood, they have no problem wearing skirts, wearing pocketbooks, painting their nails, as you saw earlier, even kissing men on national television as Bad Bunny does, but I'm sure that's probably Bad Bunny's preference. So there's Bad Bunny's connection, obviously, to the Illuminati, whatever you want to call, the secret club that none of us are in, but he's one of them. And that's the only reason that he's doing the halftime show. He's the perfect character that they selected. He's in the club. And they said, you know what? Let's make sure this year for the Super Bowl, because we have the left-right divide it is so ignited, it is so out of control. These people are in such hysterics, they're under such hypnosis. Let's make sure we don't waste a second, because they don't. When there's hundreds of millions of people watching the Super Bowl, and we know a lot will tune in for the halftime show, we're going to put a guy on there who doesn't speak a lick of English. At the same time, we're doing mass deportations, we're doing ICE raids, and the country's divided about who should be deported and who shouldn't be deported, and America first, the white nationalist garbage, all this stuff that they're pushing and doing to people, putting people under such a spell. Well, yeah, why not? Let's tap him on the shoulder because he doesn't have a single lyric in English. And nobody goes, you know what? Maybe they're working us here. Maybe the government's doing this deliberately. Maybe the NFL's doing it deliberately. The NFL connection to secret societies as well, right? With Walter Camp and Skull and Bones. Not to mention their 33-yard extra point, all the other stuff you see in the NFL and sports connected to Freemasonry, right? It's incredible. It's incredible. What point are we going to get to where they go, it's not just the NFL's liberal, so they're putting in Bad Bunny. How about you just look at it from the real perspective of what's happening here? They're manipulating you and dividing you and dividing you and dividing you every day. Every single day. They don't take one breath. They don't take one. None of these people have any self-awareness. They go, well, the temperature of the country's so hot. We probably shouldn't pick Bad Bunny since he doesn't speak English. Oh, no, they're doing it because they want to send a message that they support illegals. And then the conservatives go, they support illegals. What is wrong with them? And they just go at it and at it and at it and at it. And eventually the government gets what they want, right? Your digital ID will be in place. We'll have red and blue states in place. You won't talk to your family members again based on how they vote. And none of these people see how they got worked into this entire thing. They're being manipulated every day. These stories are there to manipulate you. These things that they do, like the border after COVID, with a pivot from the digital ID with COVID and the digital passport to do the border and say, these illegals are crossing. They're committing murder. We need a digital ID for that, right? We need IDs because the voting thing is all messed up. Everyone's voting. They don't have IDs. Oh, yeah. None of them see it. All they see is just the circus in front of them, and they believe it as real. None of them go, the NFL and the government strategically did this. Oh, right. Trump wouldn't do that. Why would Trump put Bad Bunny there? Oh, right. Because Trump isn't the one perfect character to ignite this race war, do all this stuff that's going on. Perfect character chosen. They know exactly what they're doing. And this is even better. It's hilarious that they did this. And people out there are angry about it. The celebrities are very upset. Like, I can't believe it. MAGA's very upset. We're going to boycott the Super Bowl. No, they're not. They're going to watch it now because they're excited. They want to see people get arrested and deported during the Super Bowl. So they're going to watch it just to see it because that's how deep in the left-right psychosis they actually are. So it's unbelievable. I had to do a video on it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible that nobody stands back and goes, you know what? These people are messing with us. They're doing this. They're causing this. This stuff wouldn't be happening unless they were doing it. Of course, none of them will think that way because it's almost like they like being in this. They like being on one team versus the other team. But guess what? Both teams lose in the end because all the people who are voting, who think that they're part of the Republican or Democratic Party, all you are is a pawn in the game. And you're not truly awake until you come out of the left-right paradigm. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your family.